We just talked for 2 hours.
I know. We've been here for a little bit, guys. So welcome back to Lately with Lex. Today we're here with I feel like he's like a new friend of mine now. I feel like I'm just gonna adopt him as one of my new friends. Good old Johnny Bot. How are you?
I'm doing great today.
I'm
Always
so
good.
happy to have you on. I never expected you to answer my DM.
Why not? I answer all my
I
DMs.
don't know. I feel like people that are like being on a lot of shows, especially in Boston, they're like kind of like, no. They
Yeah.
kind of
But the thing is I like to support people locally, and I'm always of the opinion that it doesn't matter. I'm not into this to like, I mean, it's nice to have followers, right?
yeah.
So it's nice to have people that follow you, that like your content, that, comment on your stuff. But I'm really not into it for that. Like, so
Yeah.
I make videos walking down the street going like this. I don't, I do my own
Shoveling
stuff.
snow.
It's just me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just got out of jail and I just started making videos. That's kind of how it happened.
So for the people that don't know, give us a little bit of like a quick bio, and then we'll like dive deep into you for a little bit.
Okay, so I started out as a kid in East Boston playing
Mhm.
hockey, playing sports, Italian neighborhood, Italian kid. Um, I'm in a neighborhood where there's some wild kids. I want to be a wild kid. I want to show you I'm the wildest kid.
Yeah.
I end up you know, trying to prove to everybody I was a tough guy, right? And
Yeah.
I always say that I proved it to everybody but myself. But
Mhm.
unfortunately, I proved it to the federal government and they gave me a 35-year sentence. So, and 27 years later, I'm out of prison. And basically, for people of today in this social media age and, in the age of technology, that's when my life begins.
Yeah.
And, people ask me all the time, like, how do you have this many followers on this guy? How do all these people know you? How do you, I have a line of clothing, the
Yeah,
marathon,
we'll tag it here for everyone too.
27 straight. So, and everybody's like, how do you, people call me that have many more followers than me, bigger platforms than me.
Yeah.
And they're like, how do you sell all these shirts? Why do I see your shirts everywhere? How do you do it? I had a cult following, so this kind of
Yeah.
followed me. I'm 102 years old. This is
Hmm.
this started a long time for me. So but now this is just an extension in the social media age.
So how was it? 27 years. That's like it's literally a lifetime,
It's
and pretty much.
10,000 days.
So how was the transition from like prison life to the world now? Because 96 you caught your case, 98 you get sentenced. You're in there for until 2003, right?
2023.
Yeah, sorry, 2023.
Mhm.
And now you're like, they feel like so much technology has changed, political stuff has changed. How did you handle everything that was going on? I feel like it's like a lot of noise, you know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah, so I mean, I always say, first of all, first and foremost, I wasn't under a rock, right? I wasn't in a cage
Yeah.
with bars
Yeah.
where I didn't see what was going on. So I had TV,
Yeah.
I had visits. I'm on the phone. I'm sending emails back and forth. I'm sending letters. There's current events. We have magazines. So I see, the progression of time
Yeah.
happen in real time. I'm just not free. I just can't
Yeah.
touch it. It's just not tangible to me. So I see it in theory, right?
Mhm.
And many of my friends had braced me, and we tend to over exaggerate
Yeah.
in real comfortable societies. We over exaggerate. Oh, you can't believe it the way it is. So everybody kind of had me amped up and braced up for this, to walk out the door and go, oh my God.
Yeah.
And when I did walk out the door, it was more the same than it was different to me. So and I always say that two things. First, it was a seamless integration for me,
That's good.
because the thing is I had a furlough after 21 and a half years.
Mhm.
I got to it's a long story. I got to take myself to a whole nother jail in Pennsylvania. I was in Connecticut, but I was minimum security. I was all right to be out in the community,
Mhm.
So the warden and the case manager that just come in said, you guys are taking this off there. We're not spending money on putting you in handcuffs on a bus. It cost us too much money. We're going to give you a bus ticket. You're going to go. And everybody, listen to this,
That's crazy.
21 and a half years. Think about
That's
21
a
and a
lot.
half years. Think about this. Think about, a timeline for yourself where you could really subjectively feel where you were in 21 and a half years, that time frame. So in that time frame, and everybody was like, people are doomsday people in prison.
Yeah.
So they're like, you ain't gonna believe it. Wait till you get out there. It's gonna be going so fast. You're gonna be scared. Listen, I walked out the door with taxi money. It was the craziest thing in the whole world. Once I walked out that door and got in that taxi and started talking to the taxi driver, just shooting the shit with him,
Yeah.
it was like I was never in prison.
Yeah.
That was where I was supposed to be. Understand?
Mhm.
So the shell shock part is in prison. When I
Yeah.
was free, it was like this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
That must have been crazy. So, how old were you when you got sentenced and went into
So I
jail?
was 26 years old.
So, how was that transition from being free into there?
Yeah.
Because
So I
you don't
mean,
have contact with people right away. They have to get systems set up
you
and
just
all.
you go into a cell with it's the worst part because you go into a cell with a red jumpsuit and you get locked up and you're by yourself. And the first night you're thinking to yourself, this is how it's going to be for like the rest of my life. I figure I'm going to jail forever. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? They're talking about giving me the death penalty. That was the first case that I,
What?
so they abolished the death penalty federally. And
Yeah.
right around when I caught my case, they re-implemented the death penalty. And the prosecutor was saying, oh, you're going to be the first guy that gets it in Massachusetts. So that's what they were threatening me with.
I mean, was your case that serious at that
Well, they had
point?
a murder that was a rival gang member. So
So, yeah,
that's as serious as it gets in the
I
eyes of the
guess so.
government, right? I mean, it's an organized crime case, murdering a rival gang member. You didn't just walk into your house, see somebody having sex with your wife and shot them. It was, it's different, right? You weren't driving down the street. Oh my God, I just hit an old lady in the crosswalk.
No,
I didn't
no,
see her.
it's not like a
So
crime of passion or anything
right.
like that.
And
It's
it's
like
not
it's him,
mitigating circumstances. It's like, okay, you've
and you
sat
and
around a table with people
and you
and
planned
planned
this
this.
shit.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So yeah, that definitely, if nothing constitutes that,
I
that's
guess
the
so.
epitome of it. So anyway, but I always talk about the first time I thought about this. I'm sitting in this cell and I'm saying to myself, it's one of these heart to heart talks that you
Yeah.
have with yourself. You've had a million of them.
Oh, yeah.
We all do, right? And I said to myself, hey, John, like, hold on for 1 second. Like, how did you think this was going to end?
No.
Did you ever think that you wouldn't be sitting here
Yeah.
on a stale bunk doing what you were doing? This stuff
Well, I
can't
think
last
at the
forever.
time when you were making everything was going on and it was like the height of the moments prior to the event, you don't think of the consequence because you don't give a shit. You just like violence is the key to it, you
And
know?
it's not like, we can say that, my case and the situation, there's violence that underlies the whole thing, right? But it
100%.
wasn't like I was out, looking
Just
for
like,
five people to stab a night.
yeah,
I'm saying that was like a culmination of certain events, but
hmm.
it didn't happen all the time.
No.
I have so many people that reach out to me and saying, "Oh my God, you were so good to me. You were such a nice guy to me." You know what I'm saying? But I mean, this is how we do it in neighborhoods, right? We're cool to our
Yeah.
people. We're always try to be nice and respectful to people, and I think that's that kind of is an earmark of people that are confident with themselves and can handle
Hmm.
themselves. Is of course they're nice to everybody because when they have to, you know, turn the other gear, that's
Yeah.
simple too. Like you know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely. So how did you like you're in there, you're talking to yourself, you're like, holy shit, I'm gonna be in here. What was that like with like meeting other inmates, all of that? Like what that must have been because you're with people all the time.
yeah,
There's no shut off. There's
yeah.
no like were you always by yourself in one cell or did you have like cellmate? Like
No,
how was
so
that dynamic
when
for
you
you?
first get classified in, I'm saying,
I've
especially
never
when
been in prison, so
yeah,
I
no,
mean,
no, and a
I
lot of
don't
people,
know.
right? And a lot of people, and that's why when I have my own YouTube channel now, and that's what I talk about because
Yeah.
everybody's like, "Oh, you just said in this sentence 15 things that I have no idea about. What does this mean? What does this mean? What does
Yeah.
this mean?"
Break
So
it down.
when you first go to prison, you have to be classified.
Okay.
Right? So they have to classify you like, okay, are you pre-trial? Are you,
Yep.
post-trial? Is you a violation? So before they can classify you, they don't know who you should be with. So you have to be alone.
Hmm.
You have to go to this place where all pre-trial people are, and then they classify you, or you remain a pre-trial detainee. And then when you
Yep.
get sentenced, you're a sentence inmate. Then you go to the feds. Then they classify you again to say, okay, you got so many years, you have so many prior cases, you had a probation violation, you have to go to a penitentiary because you're escape risk, you didn't clear this warrant up, so there's a million factors, a lot of moving parts. So initially I was at Wyatt Detention Facility in Central Falls, Rhode Island. And you with other inmates awaiting trial for the feds.
Yep.
So that's what we basically were. We're in a small pod and that was life.
How did you deal with like I'm sure there's a lot of gang violence inside prisons. How do you navigate that? Was that, like, a lot to, like, figure out?
Yeah. So, I
I
mean,
mean, is it, like, not I don't wanna say it's, like, racist, but, like, the white guys hang with the white guys, is it, like, broken up like
sure.
that?
But I'm saying,
I
so
feel like I'm judging based on movies.
it's at its rawest, purest form. Just humanism, like being a human being, and how, like, of course, we have things like, we've been socialized
Yeah,
to behave certain ways in society, right? So throw all that away. It's just base level stuff in prison, right?
yeah,
And it's racially divisive in prison.
yeah,
Definitely it is. So, like, Spanish hung with the Spanish, the blacks hung with the black, and the whites hung with the black, for the most part. But everybody, of course, you live in a postage stamp. So
yeah.
everybody was cool. It's not like we got gang wars going on with everybody else. There's no
You're all
such.
kinda just stuck in the same place, like,
Right.
might as well
And
just
we
ride it
all
out.
we all kind of coexist together. Everybody's cool with everybody. And, that's the thing I always say. The difference between prison and the street is some guy cuts you off and you're like, hey, F you, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. And then, whatever. You drive away, you never see the guy again in your life.
Yeah.
You get into a problem in prison,
You're
you
there
see
all
this
the
guy
time.
every single day, 24/7, every single day. You live with him, he might sneak you, anything can happen. So you kind of want to, and you said, like, how did you navigate it? You just have to be a good, respectful dude. Your reputation precedes you. Who you are and how you handle yourself precedes you. And I always talk about, like, oh, I'm going to go in and knock the biggest guy out and get.
Yeah.
It's such a fallacy. It doesn't. You move. My famous saying in prison was, I expect things in the order in which they move. If you're like a
Okay.
homosexual in prison, like, that's cool, be a homosexual. Just, like, stay away from me, stay in your lane, do your thing.
Yeah.
If you're a pedophile, like, you know what I'm saying?
Were you in the same prison as a lot of
Well,
them?
so when you get to low security, that's where they all are. In the penitentiary, no, they'd get, their jaw broken and then they'd get sent up somewhere. You know what I'm saying? It was no, the administration wouldn't even send them there.
I can't even imagine. I feel like I have such a problem with that, that
I think
I
everybody
would think
does.
everyone does, but, like, I mean, I don't know, like, how like, that's a situation where I just feel like, "Okay, I
Okay,
understand," like, I don't get mad when I see headlines that say, "Pedophile gets
murdered
killed
by an
in
inmate.
prison and an inmate," like, okay, let the inmate out, the other
Right.
guy out, like, you did the world a favor, a tax
Right.
dollars I'm paying for this asshole,
100%.
move on,
But
you
this
know?
this is something, Alexis, this is a perfect world, right? Just let the inmates out with each other, right? Have no cops, and let the free player forces rule.
The battle of the fittest.
Right. Whoever says, I'm giving out the trays today, who's ever saying, I'm using that phone, you can't live here. Let's Right? It'd be
Make your
easy.
own
No
community.
administration, no nothing. Just let's put, like, they call it a Skinner box in
Yeah,
psychology. You get the box and you just watch it. Let it happen. That's a perfect world.
yeah.
That's like somebody gets, convicted of raping somebody's daughter. Like like we
The
just talked about the
Yeah,
difference between your husbands and how people are soft and some people are hard.
yeah,
You know, let the people that are the hard guys go in there and take care of the
100%.
rapist. And if they can't, they can get one of their friends who is a tough guy to go in there and handle it.
Yeah.
But that's a perfect world. Now in prison, if you even, like, threaten somebody, look at somebody the wrong way, you're going to jail. You know what I'm saying? You're going to the jail within a jail, and then you're getting transferred. But, like, cops used to say, like, but look, scumbag. You know what I'm saying? Now you got to look at this. What is the cop's motivation?
Mhm.
Is he putting a jacket on this guy because the guy told him to go fuck himself during count today? Who knows? Like, you got to
So,
kind of
how did
differentiate
this
that.
change though? Because I feel like in the '90s jail versus 2023, there must have been a lot of upgrade, like different security measures,
Mhm.
all this bullshit. Does it kind of stay the same for you the whole time,
Mhm.
or is it like? And you were also in there during COVID, which I can't imagine
Oh
was
my God. I
that
wanted
must
to
have been.
commit suicide there. I legitimately
So
thought
did they
about it.
keep you guys in like solitary, like
Yeah,
because
that's
you
it. They
couldn't
just
be?
they just slammed you in a cell and say nobody can move, nobody can do anything. Can't get fresh air. Like, so the thing is
That's crazy.
so, and I always say this, if I went into a store today,
Hmm.
right? And committed the most heinous act of violence to multiple people, right? I would get locked up, right? And I would be guaranteed by the Constitution 1 hour of recreation 5 days a week. I
Yeah.
would be guaranteed that, right? The most heinous, think about the most heinous thing.
At least you get something
Right.
outside.
Well, I'm saying that's your constitutional right. When COVID happened
No,
and I asked them to go outside, they looked at me and went, outside?
well,
Like, it was like I asked them, like, hey, my man, check this out. At night, when all the cops leave, can you let me out? I want to just go
yeah.
home for a little while and then come back in the morning.
Yeah.
That's
Like
what
you're not
they
asking like an
went,
odd request.
can you go out to
So
get
could
air? Absolutely. That's
what?
absurd. I'm going to call the lieutenant up here to talk to you. Have you lost your mind? Like, that's what that was what it
That's
was.
wild.
It was, no, it was beyond wild.
So I mean, that must have like your mental state must have been
Vicious.
awful.
Deteriorated.
Because I feel like you've survived this whole time in there.
Right?
You're like you're like almost done,
Right.
essentially, right?
Essentially, if you know what you know now, it's 4 or 5 years left.
So you're like, all right, 5 years, it's a drop in the bucket to compare to
Right.
what I've been in here. But now you're by yourself. And you're like,
Which
that's
is
what
great
but-
on
and-
one
and
level.
On one level, but then it's like for COVID, how long were the COVID restrictions? Was it like years?
It stayed for like about a year, but I'm going to tell you what happened. How did I get through this bid? Eating right, great diet, exercise every day. I had a rigid routine. I embraced the rigidity. Don't ask me how I did it now, because I feel like as I get farther and farther from the prison cell, I get softer and softer, even though I still on a rigid routine. But in there, it was
Well, it's like, what else are you gonna do?
militant,
Yeah.
But some people sit around and play spades and eat soups and get fat and die when they get home. So it's not like,
I can
oh,
imagine.
you went to prison. It's not that easy. Try to do that every single day when you have nothing.
There's no other influence.
You have, what's your end goal when you got a 35-year sentence? I just talked about this. You got 20 in, you still got 15 left. You excited to work out every day? It's not like, hey, I'm going to Aruba in August. I'm going to go.
Yeah. You're kind of just like, all right.
Nothing. It's nothing. It's like, you
People
know
give
what? I
up.
could just sit on my bed and just shoot dope and die, because that's what I'm going to do anyway. I should do that.
Did you ever use while you were in there?
I mean, did I use drugs when I was in prison? Like, I was in prison for 10,000 days. Maybe I drank and used drugs 3
That's
times,
so-
maybe.
always-
But I had a little bit when I started smoking that K2, synthetic marijuana.
Oh yeah.
So I had a little roll when I went on in there, and then I just, it's like drugs. Here's what drugs do for you. They do whatever they promise you until they do the complete reverse.
Exactly.
So, and that's what happened with me with that. So I just kind of had
So
to
you get out and you're like, so how do you find like a job? How do they expect you to find a job and stuff? Is there systems in place for that?
Absolutely. And I will say this though. Here's what I always have to preface this. I am the absolute worst case study for anybody like wanting to
To
know.
reintegrate into
I have the best friends on planet Earth. People gave me bags of money.
Yeah, there you go.
So, I mean, I never struggled ever. I never had left to my own devices. I tell everybody I've been sleeping in the Boston Common.
Yeah.
But I got the best friends on planet Earth, most influential friends, people that can move mountains, and they've done everything they could to set me up for success, and I've never had a problem. So, and the thing is I've done a lot of the footwork on my end, of course. Like I told you, Maddie invited me to speak. Maddie Powers from Power Recovery invited me to speak at his recovery center. And I could have easily said, nah, I don't really want to do that, right? I'm not really comfortable doing it.
Yeah.
But I did it, right? I went out of my comfort zone. I did it. And then afterwards, Maddie said, hey, I want to give you a scholarship to become a recovery coach.
That's awesome.
And then I could have said, well, you know what? I'm really not into that. I really don't know. But you know what? I worked. It was a lot of the classes I didn't want to be in. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of work that I could have been doing other things that, but I worked. I put the work in. I did what I had to do. I started to, create a rapport with people at the place, and I started to get clients, and the rest is history.
I think like helping people makes you want, like, once you help that first person, it kind of is like, okay, well, all those classes weren't that bad.
I really found that out. I see my crowning achievement in life, and I have to preface this because of the story I'm going to tell you right now, is that I taught myself Spanish and I speak it fluently. So that's my crowning achievement in life. But what I found out about teaching is that it does tenfold for the teacher than it does for the student.
100%.
So what happened was, when I was teaching people, I started to really learn Spanish deeply. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. So and I knew the like the nexus between teaching and learning. So that's why it was good to, you know, tell my story, to, you know, try to help people, to reach out and to try to, you know, share some of that, you know, wisdom. I have a lot of life experience.
Yeah. So how now you're out, you're doing this. What other stuff are you doing now?
So I
You got the clothing line.
Yeah, I got the clothing line. It's 27 straight. Of course, I came up with that in prison. I was like 2'7". And I knew it was going to be, you know, 27 years after I got my sentence computation. I still had to do the drug program. I still had to do 2 years if I didn't complete the drug program, but I was going to get out in 9 months. I figured right around 27 years. So I put the 2'7", then I put STR, then I put the number 8. It was chronological with the 7, right? Two,
Nice.
7, 8. And I was like, wow, it looks pretty clever. You know what I'm saying? And I
Yeah.
never knew what I was going to use it for, right?
Yeah.
But my brother Charlie had this party for me. We just had somebody here leaving, right? That knew my brother
Yeah.
Charlie, an accountant. Everybody, Charlie does everybody's taxes.
I love that.
So he was like, "Oh, I was gonna have this party for you. It never materialized twice because of the weather, but I got a box of shirts up there." He goes, "Why don't you take the shirts, sign them, and
Yeah.
sell them?" Right? And I was drinking a cup of coffee. I almost spit it in his face. I was like, "Who the fuck is gonna buy shirts with my signature on them?"
They
You know what I mean?
totally would. Your friends support
So
you.
I did it and I sold them all. And I was like, wow. Then, you know, I had like Pete take me up to see a guy that was doing some like embroidery work and screen printing work for Salem,
Mhm.
for the club in Salem. And I got hooked up with him. And yeah, I mean, the first year I made enough to support myself just selling clothes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. No, it's remarkable, is what it really is. And, you know,
I
I'm
feel
just,
like your story is so different because you had so much support. I feel like I've talked to other people
oh my God, I had,
that have been in jail and in prison, and it's like not the same. They have really bad drug addiction problems. They can't get out of their own way.
yeah, that's tough.
It's like a constant cycle. And I feel like some of the people that like I know, I mean, who one of them is back in jail again,
Right.
it's all they know.
It's a vicious cycle.
And it's like their home. That's what they consider it. And
Mhm.
it's so crazy to me how that's one side of the spectrum. And then there's you that's like, nah, we're not gonna go back. We're good. We're gonna move forward.
No, so I mean, in everybody says that that's really a testament to me, but you know, my friends like, oh, you don't give yourself enough credit for that. But I just think it's me, right? It's just how I am. So I, whatever it is, like the
You seem very
wherewithal,
driven.
whatever it is that I do have, I'm grateful for it because it, you know, propelled me through a viciously long sentence. And it was just a prison sentence, and that's just 27 years of being, but I lived like my life was, I lived on a razor's edge in jail by my own, you know, I devised my own program
Mhm.
and adhered to it every day and stepped out of it seldom,
Mhm.
which is
Would you ever consider like coaching, like going to the prisons and coaching inmates
sure. Yeah, we're in
and helping them like through their process as someone
absolutely.
who's been out of prison?
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. That would, and that's definitely an option. And I'm talking to, you know, some people about that right now. I'd love to do that. Trying to get off parole right now. You know, it's supervised release in the feds. Everybody would know it as parole. And you know, I put a motion in. I got my last motion granted to be off travel restrictions. I've traveled. I've done some humanitarian work in Colombia. So I have a lot of things that, like, working in my favor. Of course, a lot of, listen, let me preface this with, there was a lot of pleasurable trips in
Yeah.
Colombia too. I go there for pleasure. It's
I
great.
see your Instagram and it looks like a good time.
I love it.
I've
But
never been there.
the last time I went, we went to a place right before Christmas. I specifically went there to go with a church, and we gave out toys and food to like a
Oh, that's
thousand kids up
awesome.
in like the most poor area in
Remote, yeah.
La Sierra, up in the mountains of Medellin. And listen, I don't say that because, like, you know, oh, I did such a great thing.
No,
Everybody
but
said that.
that's a
But
cool thing to
listen,
do.
I want to tell you this. It's like teaching again, though. Those kids did more for me than I could ever do for them.
Yeah, because it's I don't think people understand how privileged they are here. Like, there's
Oh
people
no,
in other everywhere else, like, they don't understand. So I think, like, if a kid I think that, not that it makes any better, but when you went in '96, like, it's different if people go in now because they're so used to being connected and constant contact. I can't imagine like someone getting locked
me
up
neither.
now and not having
Me
like
neither.
your phone on you or
Me
some
neither.
you're a text away from someone. Now you're stuck in the cell. I can see how it's harder for inmates now who have been in recently, maybe did like the last 5 years and now
Sure.
they're coming out,
I agree
may
with you.
have had a harder time versus you kind
I
of
agree.
miss that social. like instantaneous
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with
communication.
that 100%. And I just think that, you know, it sounds so cliche, and I always say it, but like education is the key to all of this.
100%.
And I say that only because I'm living proof of it. Because
Yeah.
when I went to prison, as probably you're not going to believe this, but I was the smartest person on planet
Oh.
Earth when I went to prison. No,
Yeah.
there was nobody smarter than me out of all the people. I don't know how many there were, but I was definitely the smartest person on planet Earth. And then when I got to prison and I started to read books, and then I started to really delve into educating myself, I realized how ignorant I really was.
Mhm.
And even when I started to speak Spanish, where people were like, man, like you speak Spanish better than I speak it.
That's
You
awesome.
read it and write it better than I read it and write it. And still, because you know what the thing is, I always think I can speak Spanish, and I wouldn't want to speak Spanish in a courtroom to
Yeah.
save my life. And I wouldn't want to have to go to the doc that's talking about life saving treatment in Spanish either. I could to
Yeah.
save my life if I had to,
Yeah.
but I'd
But you
rather
wanna
talk in English.
yeah, exactly.
But there's people that speak 10 languages, 5 languages, three
Yeah.
languages. What? That's impressive to me. I speak one language and barely speak English.
Yeah.
Come on. So it's humbling, but I'll tell you what happened to me. And the progression of learning, all of this started like me trying to be a wild kid, is I wanted to make the most amount of money in the least amount of time. Why?
Mhm.
Because
The least amount of effort.
I was scared of math, of learning, because I didn't think I could do it.
Really?
So absolutely. No, I remember
Did you finish high
yeah,
school?
I got a high school diploma, and I'm in a lot of credits with college
Yeah.
for a business degree and a psychology degree while I was in prison. But the reason I was scared, really, I had fear of like learning because I didn't think I could do it. And I didn't want to try it because I didn't know if I could succeed at it, but I knew I could succeed at being like tough. Like that was kind of like the code of the street. So that's why I went that way.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you this. I got my first A on an algebra test, right? I remember being in my cell and like by myself. I was in a two-man cell, but I was by myself until I got a cellie. And I was like, I cried. I was like, yo, I can do this.
Yeah.
Then I did pre-calculus and trigonometry and excelled at it and got A's. And I was like, but here's the thing. Once you learn and you know that you have the capacity to learn and feel confident in
It's
learning,
not that hard.
Mo, I would say it's not that easy either, but you
Yeah.
can dream big.
Mhm.
That gives you the capacity to say, like, oh, you know what? I'll be able to do something with when I started seeing technology and people on technology, when I started to, look at a phone, contraband phone, I was like, wow, this guy's got a story. He did like 5 years in prison. I'm gonna have 30 years in prison.
They have you get contraband you, like,
I,
got a contraband phone? That must be an
yeah, you
interesting
can't get a phone in prison. You got to get another, they give you another
so
year.
so I didn't know that. I have a friend who just came out. He's actually back in. He has an iPad all the time. But
Now
yeah,
you can have,
they're on Facebook.
I don't
He's
know
on
about,
Facebook.
yeah, I don't know
He's like,
that,
"I'm still in here." I'm like,
yeah, well, that might be,
a
so
new thing maybe.
that like the prison, the ones, the pads that the prisons issue in some different place in the feds, it's much less, the capabilities are less, but like in these pretrial places, you can FaceTime people, you can,
That's crazy.
but you can't social media. You can't be on social media
Oh, so
because
maybe they figured it
that,
out.
yeah, this is probably a contraband, but I just dimed the guy out, but nobody knows who he is. But anyway,
It is fine. We're not mentioning his
yeah.
name. It's fine.
So I mean, the thing is they got a real hard time. But what I used to do was I was on social media, but I had third party social media. I would tell people what to put on there. You know what I'm saying? You could do that, but you can't directly link into social media. It's an issue.
That's crazy. So what's our goals? Like now you've been out for a little
Just
while.
I want to enjoy my life. I don't even have like I'm a Buddha. I live like a Buddha. I'm
Okay.
not a Buddha. I'm not any
So
kind.
not in any no girlfriends, just by yourself, just going off as a bachelor, having fun?
Yeah. So I mean, I have a lot of friends. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
So
sure
I
you
mean,
do.
just think. Um, 27 years in prison. I miss being with women.
I would
I'm
assume.
painfully heterosexual.
I'm sure it was a nice little time
So look,
being out for
here's
a
the
little
thing.
bit.
I always tell people, I make the joke that I wish I was a homosexual. I would have did the best bid
Yeah.
on planet Earth, right? But I'm not, right? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And I don't move in them circles. But so yeah, I definitely miss women, and I'm trying to make up for lost time. Yeah, absolutely.
That's
No
I
relationships.
no,
No, zero.
just hookups.
No, just hanging out. Just yeah,
Is that
great.
is that what
Listen,
they call it?
I make when I make a relationship with somebody and I make friends with somebody, I usually make that relationship for life. So
You seem like well, I mean, like, that's a testament to through time for you. I mean, you did this time, people you got out, everyone was like, "He has a bag of clothes, he has some money, he has"
it's great,
you're a
unbelievable.
good friend.
And no, listen, and then everybody was like, people are scumbags out here, man. All my friends, all the people that help me out, like people that get on my website and buy something, like I'm like, wow, I appreciate
Do
that.
you ever have people, like, sliding in your DMs that are, like, the opposite? They're like, "Dude, you did 27 years, you were, blah, blah, blah," like,
Yeah, I got
it
some
kinda gets, like,
haters.
the negative
I got haters, but I just think that
well, how could they hate like, you did your time.
so you know
What
what the
could they
thing
hate you
is?
for?
I'll tell you what people hate. People hate that.
Success, that's what they
No,
hate.
I don't know so much that. I've had haters like talk about me, didn't even know me, and then turn around and say, "Hey, wait a minute, I made a mistake. You're a good guy," and telling everybody that they follow, "Hey, you know what? Follow this guy because he's really a good guy." And we got
I know,
some
you have a
mutual
lot of
friends.
followers, 22,000, like,
Yeah. So and now I'm shadow banned. I can't get no new ones. It's disgusting. I'm sick with Instagram right now, but it's a whole nother story for another day. It's a glitch in their system. I got an orange flag. I was getting 100 followers every day. Now I'm dead. I don't know. I'm just gonna see what
can you
happens.
do other can you go on TikTok
Yeah,
and
I'm on
get more?
TikTok. I'm on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Snapchat, Facebook. Yeah, so
Which one's your favorite?
I love Instagram because it's sexy, right? Instagram's sexy, and I got a link there where you can go buy my clothes, and I got it on all my platforms. Instagram is sexy, but it's the least to pay. It's
Oh, really?
oh yeah, I'm saying you can get. I got paid. I get paid on not a lot. I get like $100 a month on like Facebook now and on YouTube.
And you have a lot of people that follow you. So I think that another thing that kids have a problem with now is they don't want to go to school. They don't want to learn anything because they think they can make it big on social media.
That's
Like you have 22,000 followers and you're making $100 a month. Like that's
no.
not.
Let's see. So on my, I don't make no money on Instagram. I got 22,000 followers. I don't
Oh,
make a penny from Instagram, but I have a link there where you can buy clothes, and I
oh,
put
okay.
stuff on my stories, and I advertise. And my clothing business is, doing
Booming.
doing good. You know what I'm saying? You
I
know,
know. I'm gonna go buy a sweatshirt today.
yeah. I'm not gonna be able to retire on it. But my thing is crumbs make crumb cake.
That's
I'm a recovery coach. I do the stuff with, I have my clothing line.
now you're
I
doing you're getting paid to do podcasts
do a
now,
little
which I
consultant.
appreciate you not charging me to do the
Yeah,
podcast.
no, I'm
It's really
saying
nice to me.
I always like to do. Listen, I'm a Boston guy through and through, right? And I like to support people from Boston. And for me, this is like this is part of my life now. I like to come on and talk about my story and stuff. If it goes no further than this, then it goes no further. If it does, I have a book in the works right now. I got some
That's awesome.
stuff in the works.
I got some people if you need help with the book.
Yeah, so have you ever heard of Patriots Day, the movie with Mark
Mhm.
Wahlberg? Yeah, the
Mhm.
author of that is one that's doing my book. So I don't really
He's
need any
already
help
set
with
up, guys. This guy's like, he doesn't need a
that.
little old Alexis
So
and my like silly
so
publisher.
he's helping me out. He's a good friend of mine. He's got a lot of connection with a lot of friends of mine. And if it materializes, it materializes, and if it doesn't, it doesn't, whatever. So I mean, it's just I don't have listen, he who expects nothing is never disappointed.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So I don't have any expectations on anything, on people I meet, relationships that I'm in. I don't
Yeah.
have any expectations on
I'm
people.
a big like under promise, over deliver.
Yeah, so I mean, I listen. I just live my life. You asked me what my goal is. I just want to enjoy my life. I'm a Buddha. I don't have no long. I don't want to invest in real estate. I don't want to try to make $1 million. I'm saying I want enough money where I can just be
And it's
comfortable.
only you and your brother now, right? Your parents have
Yeah, my
gone.
parents passed away. My brother Ronnie passed away, so it's me and my brother Charlie.
Were you were in jail when they passed away? That must have been really
So I
hard.
was in jail when everybody passed away. Yep, couldn't go to the funeral. Couldn't go to the wake.
They
Couldn't
don't
go.
let you do like you can't like apply to like go.
And if you were able to say if I was in a minimum security and maybe they let me go one time, you would after like the wake takes place afterwards when everybody leaves and everybody's out of the parking lot, the marshals would take you in, you'd say a prayer, take you back and go. So it's not like you'd be hanging out at the
Oh, you wouldn't
party.
like
You
see
wouldn't be at the
anyone.
mass. I
Oh.
mean, you're not going to be there. That's
So how do
facts.
you feel about the court system?
How do I feel about the court
Do you
system?
think that it was fair to you in a way? Well, I mean, like, listen, the crime wasn't a little thing. So,
Mhm.
like, did you find that it was
No,
fair
yeah.
the whole way through, or do you think that there was like a lot of just corruption within the system?
Me personally, how do I think? I think that they didn't get the wrong guy. They got the right guy,
Yeah.
you know. Um, you know, I admitted to doing whatever they said I did so my friends wouldn't get in trouble, right? So I got them to get out of trouble. And I got a 35-year sentence. I did 27 years. If I see my prosecutor walking down the street, I'd say what's up to him, say hello.
Yeah.
The judge, I have a
So
lot
no
of
hard feelings.
I listen, Judge Young, right? He sentenced me to 420 months. We had like a little thing. I said something to him in court, and I was like, I went into this whole spiel. He, came back at me, and then over the years, I read his opinions in cases. The guy's brilliant,
Yep.
right? Much smarter man than I'll ever be, right? You know what I'm saying? So I got a lot of respect for him in that regard. You know what I'm saying? And people listen, here's the bottom line. If I'm on that side of the law at the time, I want to prosecute me. It's easy. It's not hard. It's not,
Yeah.
nobody like unfairly targeted me. They
Yeah.
didn't say, hey, see this guy, Johnny Bott? Yeah, he's going to East Boston High School right now. He's playing hockey, doing nothing wrong. We're going to get him when he gets older.
Well,
No,
I just feel like also being involved in like bike stuff and all that. Sometimes I think like the idea a lot of people see is like, oh, they have a bigger target
oh, sure.
like on your
Definitely.
head. So they're
Yeah.
like, oh, well, we're gonna sentence him more than maybe we would someone that wasn't involved and
So,
affiliated.
um, yeah, it's always easy to say that. And, things about the club, and I was in the Hells Angels. I left the Hells Angels. But when I talk about the club, I don't really talk much about the club. I talk about my personal experience.
Well, because
So
you're supposed to talk about the you know what I mean?
me as a person that was in the club and sentenced by the federal government, do I think they sentenced me unfairly because I was in the club? I would say no.
Mhm.
No, for me, no.
That's a big thing, though. I think that's big.
People that were involved in the case, they might feel differently, and I can't speak for them. I can only speak
Yeah.
for myself because number one is it might not be the way somebody feels, and it might be the way somebody feels. But for me personally, I don't think so. I was at a party the other night with Sean O'Brien,
Mhm.
the head of the team. Says Brian Kelly was there. He was the head United States attorney at one time.
That's
I
amazing.
introduced myself to him, and he was like, really? He goes, who's your prosecutor? I said, Jeff Hobart. And he went, let me take a picture. I'm going to send me a
That's
picture
so
to
funny.
Jeff Hobart of me and you.
That's
But
so
I don't
funny.
have any ill will. I don't have any antipathy toward these people.
No,
You know
and
what I'm saying? I just
it wouldn't
don't.
get you anywhere. I feel like people come out if they come out angry and like
I just live
vengeful,
my
like
own life.
you're able to do what you
Simple.
want now.
And
Like,
everybody says, oh, they're rats, scumbag rats. They ratted them. I feel bad for the rats. They didn't get the treatment I got. All they had to do was hang on.
yeah,
But now everybody thinks they're scumbags, me included. Like, you want to you want to, listen, if somebody's daughter has their car broken into, call the cops, right?
yeah,
They're not involved I'm a different breed. I'm a different
yeah.
person. I don't call the cops. I'm not going to call the cops.
No, my
To
house
this
is
day, I'm not a criminal, but I couldn't live with myself if I ever like call the cops on somebody. It's just not my style. I would never do
no,
it.
just kind of.
You know what I mean? But the cops were made for people that are citizens. Call them. They're not rats,
Well,
those people.
I think
They're
that
citizens.
some people confuse like not everyone is as tough as that, so they need cops to mediate problems, which is fine. And
Cool.
personally for me, like, my husband, I don't have to worry about that. Like that's his job.
Right.
He figures it out.
However you deal with it.
Yeah.
But if people do, and people, listen, if I say to you, hey, listen, check this out, Alexis. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this, 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 and this. And listen, don't say this, say this, say this, right? Now we're plotting and scheming, right? So when the cops come to me, they're going to say this, and I'm going to be like, I don't know what you're talking about, right? Now, if you got a business and this guy says you signed a lease for this amount, right? And then he's saying, no, that lease is, we negated that lease by, we had to
Yep.
do this, this, and this. And you're like, this is the lease. What are you going to do? You're not going to go break his windows. You're probably going to go to say, hey, listen, let's
Yeah.
mediate this. Let's figure this out because we're going to have to go to the next step.
Exactly.
My lawyer that handles this real estate is right.
Yeah.
So that's just the way we handle things.
But I think now it's different. I think back in like the 90s, you could just like, if someone was a problem and you had a problem with someone, people weren't calling the police on each other and all that. Like you would just handle the beef and call it a day.
Perfect.
It's a lot easier. Like one person's going to win it. Someone else is going to walk away. It's going to be like, It is what it is.
I
But
always say free player forces, just like in prison. Free player forces, let the free player forces. You know what? But I can get dead real quick too. So
yeah,
I mean, I don't want
you're
that.
also at risk too.
I ain't trying to have that. Right now, I'm trying to live a nice, comfortable, normal life. And if a situation arises, I'm going to have to handle it the way that I see fit at the time,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm not going to call the cops.
No. But I also think you're not going to put yourself in a situation
Definitely
where,
trying conflict avoidance.
yeah, walk away. And I think that's a lot of people need to learn is just to walk away. Or it's the same thing online. Just keep scrolling.
Yeah, that's retarded. I'm saying traffic is a killer because traffic, you could get out of your car and
Yeah.
have an issue real quick.
Yeah, no, yeah.
It's my problem.
Yeah, that's my husband's.
Yeah, everybody's. I'm saying,
He'll call me and he's like so mad.
I
I'm like,
know it's
he's
crazy.
like the one that would like get out of the car.
I know. Yeah, you can't.
He's like, I'm like, you can't do that shit. Like you can't threaten
And
people.
the worst part is too, after you beat somebody up at a traffic stop and the cops come and the guy says, "Man, I don't know why he was so violent. He ripped me out of my car." Then they look up your record and they're like, "Oh, we got the right guy. Hands behind your back." You can't win that one.
No, you're gonna lose.
So anyway,
But it was so good having you here. I don't want to keep you all
Awesome.
day, but I hope I have you back and we'll have like another little
of course, we had a
follow
blast.
up. Figure
Just
out like what
talk,
what
that's it.
else new
This
that
is
you haven't
easy.
done. How do you like the studio?
It's awesome. I love
You
it.
comfortable? Your chair's comfy?
Perfect.
I'm glad you like it.
I love
You
it.
can use it anytime you want.
I know.
That's what we have here.
Thank
So guys, follow us on Late with Lex. The official, what's your Instagram?
Official _ Johnny _ Bartolomeo. But you'll put all that
Yeah,
up.
I'll put it all in.
All my
We'll see
social
you guys
media.
next week. If JJ's awesome enough, maybe we can get this out
Tomorrow.
No, I'm not even kidding. He's like, I already know because I'm a nut. All right, guys, thanks so much. Have a good one.
Awesome.